Okay, I'm super excited to show you what I have in store this time. Let me just minimize myself here and check this out. So, for those of you, I'm religious, and so I study sacred texts like the scriptures, the Bible, and some others. And there's some business applications to what I'm about to show you, but for now, give me a little indulgence here. So, check this out. I can start up my project with the click of a button. And there's a lot of code running in the background, so it sometimes takes a minute. But anyway, once it starts, check this out. Won't be much longer. There we go. Okay, so this is the scripture search engine. So how it works is in the script, I have in the Excel file all chapters of every standard work that I could come up with. So I can select any one of those particular chapters, like say Genesis, and then what happens is the chapter field right here automatically populates with every chapter in Genesis, all the way to 50. Now, the reason that is there's no Genesis chapter 51, so it only populates what's actually there. And the cool part is I can select any one of these numbers, say 32, and the verse over here counts how many verses there are in that particular chapter. This is more of a guide to fill this out. Now, here's the fun part. I can add one verse or a range of verses or a range and a single verse or a range and a range. And either way it'll work. So I'll type in 15 for now, and I can either run it right now or add it to a list. Let's try run to see what it does. And it returns exactly what that reference is. Pretty cool, huh? And it takes a bit to load it up. Like I said, there's a lot of code running in the background here. There we go. Okay, so if I want, I can clear, and it clears the project, or reset it and resets everything. So let's see what happens if I were to click Deuteronomy, and it auto-populates all the way to 34. There's no Deuteronomy chapter 35. It doesn't exist. So let's hit 16, and it updates the total verse count. Let's do 1 through 5 and 23. Oh, 21. We'll add. When we click the add button, it adds it to this populated list right here. And then we can do this as many times as we want. So it can work with 2 Kings. Let's choose 9, because that looks interesting for no particular reason. And 24 through 26. And let's say 30 through 32. So we'll add that to our list. And ta-da, it works. And I even have the New Testament. Let's add something from Matthew, my namesake. And we'll select a random chapter. And we'll say 20 through 25. And we'll add it. And you can do this for as many ones as you want. That's the cool part. This list can go on forever if you wanted to. But anyway, you can click any one of those references you have and hit run, and it shows you exactly what that reference is. Now, this could have so many different applications for business users. Like if you're in a legal situation and you needed to look up a certain legal proceeding somewhere in the document, you can use a tool like this to retrieve that information without having to dive into it. It's kind of like a search engine, only it returns exactly what you ask it to return, which is pretty darn cool. And this could work for, say, inventory or possibly medical practices. It's pretty darn unique. Anyway, the reason I show you this is because I built this tool entirely myself. Like, I built it completely from scratch, and I had to use a variety of tools to make it work because the only way it can work locally and not online is to download each of them from a website, which is which I built a separate automation just for that. But once it was done and once the whole thing was set up, then the tricky part was building a user form so that way it was as intuitive and unbreakable as possible. That way, if someone were to like be kind of funny and write 20 through 4 or include a set that was beyond there, that it would still work because code likes things specific and to the point, but sometimes people are not always like that. So at least for the present, I made some workarounds just in case that does happen. So pretty darn cool.